Would you please tell me your name?
Lena Stokes. Lena Curry-Stokes.
And tell me something about your family. When were you born, and your mother and father?
Okay, I was born February 13th, 44. I was born in Mims on 46. And my mother and father's name was Viola and Joe Curry.
Okay. And where were you born out on 46?
Turpentine quarter.
Okay. And tell me something about growing up as a child at the Turpentine quarters.
Well,
What can you remember? What was your house like?
it was a wooden house with, we didn't have lights. We had lanterns. We had, and lamps. And we had, wooden stove, wooden heater, refrigerator that you had to put the ice to block the ice in it. And had wooden floors. And we didn't have a TV. We had radio that we had to listen to. And
Did you have a car for transportation?
yes.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
No?
We had this older guy that used to come and take us to Shop Brothers to buy groceries or to the post office.
Do you remember who that gentleman was?
Mr. Russian.
Mr. Russian. Okay. And he lived on 46 up here in Mims,
We
right?
lived on 46. And we used to walk the Mims to the grocery store sometime, which was a good ways to walk.
Long
And we
way.
used to walk to fishing, go fishing, used to walk to fish.
Who were some of the children, what did you do as a child growing up? What were some of the games that you played?
We played hide and seek, hopscotch, jumping rope, spring. We used to do the springboard, and we used to, the kite, fly the kite, and the boys used to play marbles, marbles, and a long time ago you didn't have that much. So like when I bed, baseball, and when we have anything else to do, we used to, the old mattress that wasn't any good, we used to jump up on them.
Who were some of your playmates? What were their names?
Oh,
Do you remember?
it was just like families out there. The Owenses, the McCullers, the Mitchells, and my friend was a white girl,
What was her name?
Reva. I never forget it.
Reva?
Uh-huh.
And what was her last name? Do you
I
remember
can't
her
remember
last
her last name.
Okay, did they
She
live
the
at
first
the
one
camp?
pierced my ears.
Did they live at the camp?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Oh, so it was an integrated camp?
Yep,
Oh, I didn't know.
it sure was.
Very good. Do you remember any of the other white families that lived there? The last names?
No, I can't remember. I can remember their face, but I can't remember their names.
Okay. Where did you all go to school?
In Mims.
Okay. What school did you go to?
Mims Elementary.
Okay. And where was that located?
On college. They call it college, but now it's Heritage One.
Okay. That's good. Who was your teacher? Do you remember who your teacher was now?
Oh, I had a lot of teachers.
What were their names?
Miss Jameson, Miss Thompson, Miss Boyd. Miss Bassett was the principal.
Okay. What did you? How long did you live at the camp? How long?
46.
Yeah. How long? How old were you? You were born there, so
Mhm.
how long? When did you move to Mims, or how long did your family live at the camp? Do you remember?
No.
Do you remember about how old you were? Were you a teenager?
No, probably about 6 or
You were about
7.
6 or 7. Okay, because I was going to ask you how a teenager lived out there. Okay. what are some of the other things that you remember about the camp? Did you as a little child, do you remember going into the commissary, into the store there, the company store, to buy anything with your parents?
No, I can remember them talking about it.
Okay. Do you remember anything? What did it look like out in that area at the time? What was around the camps?
Just wooden houses.
Wooden houses. Well, was the
Bunch of
road
woods.
paved at
No.
the time? 46 wasn't paved at the time. Okay. How about Turpentine Road? Where did you remember going out to Salt Lake fishing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was, and what the roads looked like back then?
It was dirt.
Dirt.
ones.
Okay. Was there anything out at Salt Lake? Any buildings or anything out on the lake
No.
there? Okay. What was the bridges? Do you remember what the bridges looked like across the St. John's or anything? Were they wooden
I
bridges?
think it was wooden.
Wooden bridges. How about the mosquitoes? What were the mosquitoes like living? Do you remember when you were a little girl?
In Mims, it was terrible. Terrible, yes.
How about out at the Turpentine? Do you remember being a little girl? Do you remember anything, any of the, what you did in the heat, for instance? You didn't have any electricity, so what did you do for the heat in the summertime out there? Do you remember how hot it was? Did it seem like it was hot?
We just stayed in the shade, under the tree, played under the house sometime. The house is built off the ground, so you can go under the house and play.
Do you remember ever seeing any alligators in the out at in the creeks and stuff out there where you live?
Not alligators, you see bobcats, wildcats and stuff like that.
Oh,
And we used to see like what they call the coral snake, now the different colors. And we used to see them and we used to play with them.
Oh,
used
my
to see them
goodness.
pass and didn't know they was poison.
oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about what happened? What happened when you were sick? What did Mama do when you were sick?
We didn't go to the doctor that often. If we cut ourselves or either got cut, they would put spider webs on the cut, and it would stop the bleeding.
Interesting.
And like, if we sprained our ankle, she would take dirt dauber mix it with vinegar and make a paste and put it on the ankle.
Interesting. Interesting.
And for fever, temperature, they used to take plumber crystal, I think, leaf, put it on your forehead, tie a rag around it, and it would draw all that fever out. And if you had fever, you'd be in bed, it would put like, I think it's turpentine underneath the bed and it would draw the fever out. I think I'm right on these things.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, if you stick a nail, step on a nail, it would put a piece of fat back bacon on there, and it would draw all that poison, I guess, and infection out.
My goodness, and it worked.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're still living.
That's right. That's marvelous. That's marvelous. Do you remember? St. Mary's, going to St. Mary's Church out there when you were little?
I can't remember
Can't
that.
remember that. Okay. Do you remember the coming into Titusville? Do you remember Kelly's being here when you came into Titusville? The still that was on US 1 at all? Do you remember the still?
I remember Kelly, but it used to make cement.
Oh,
My dad used to work there.
so they made cement too.
The cement plant.
Oh, and what type of, did they make block or did they? Oh,
They sell blocks
and where was that located?
on US 1.
On US 1 and in relationship to what today? Where was it on US 1?
It's still there.
Oh, it's still there?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Do you know what happened to the still or to the camp? What happened
On
to
46.
Yeah, what happened to the camp?
I think they tore the houses down, but now it's a big trailer park.
Okay. And it was, where was it? If you're heading from Mims, you're heading to Orange County, was it on the left-hand side or the right-hand side?
Going to Orange County?
Or going to,
46?
On 46, you're heading west. Well, which side of the road was the camp on? Was it on the right-hand side or the left-hand side? North side, south
It's
side?
on the right, on the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side?
Left-hand side.
Okay, and it was right on the corner there where Turpentine Road is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All the way down, it was houses.
Okay,
all the way
did they have, there were about 22 families that lived there, about 22 houses or so. Were they like on a little road and a street or a pathway in between
Yeah,
them?
okay.
A path,
Mhm.
and then.
It just scattered all around.
And they were scattered all around? Okay. Do you remember, do you remember if your father ever said there was a foreman boss or anything like that lived out there that sort of oversaw them? Do you remember him talking about it in later years?
Yeah, it seemed like that,
Yeah. Did he ever say where they went and gathered the turpentine, or do you remember him talking about it at all?
I don't remember that.
Okay. What's the biggest change that you've seen in Mims since you remember when you were a little girl?
We have lights, electricity, and we have payrolls and space center.
Do you remember Old St. James Church, the old wooden structure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How big was that? It was just a little small church.
I think it was. I can try to remember.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened to it at all?
St. James.
Yeah, the little church.
I think they tore it down and they built a.
The annex. Yeah, I think that's what happened. They tore it down and built the annex when they built the annex. Yeah. What do you remember the baptisms that they used to have here in the early days, where they had the baptisms?
I think I'm right. I could be wrong. It's over Marigold. It's Marigold now, right? When is the rock pit thing? I don't think I remember the rock pit. It's over there where the dump used to be at, right? In the river.
And the Indian River?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember did you attend any of the baptisms in the river when you were little?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to let us know about life in Mims?
No.
Or the Turpentine? Well, you said your teachers, Mrs. Jameson and Mrs. Bowie, were they good teachers?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What was the favorite subjects they taught you?
Myself, I like it. Reading and writing.
Reading and writing. Okay. And so you lived in Mims ever since you came here when you were a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and you've always lived here?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have family here?
Yes.
And what are their names?
I have a sister, her name Ellen, and Pearl's name. And I have a lot of cousins and aunts.
And they all live here
Nieces
in
and
Mims?
nephews. Mhm.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. And how about the Easter parade that's held? Does your family participate in that every year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you tell us about that a little bit? How that's changed over the years? For instance, how do you participate in it?
My church, we made a float to go in,
A float to go?
and we won first prize.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
And Corinne Sanders was the person that really started the Easter parade in Mims.
It's been a long tradition, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for coming today and participating in our project.
Okay, you're welcome.